Hello, my name is Zach Curry, and I'm a Top Shelf Models financial analyst. Today we're going to go over sources and uses of funds. So, the sources and uses table is integral in real estate to provide a high-level overview of the transaction taking place. Now, there's a lot of confusion about how to prepare this table, why it's needed, and which amounts go where. So, first off, what is the sources and uses of funds? The sources and uses of funds is outlined in a sources and uses statement. A sources and uses statement shows how the different layers of financing are being used to fund the acquisition or development of a transaction, the sources, and what those funds will be used for, the uses. The total sources and uses must be equal to each other. All the money has to go somewhere. An example sources and uses table is shown below, right here. So as we can see, each one of these items in the sources and uses schedule is coming from my construction budget tab. So we've got the construction debt of $61 million. We've got the investor equity, the general partner equity, and I'm pulling these from the waterfall. We have no mezzanine debt here, but if we did, that would be pulling from the construction budget as well. And just to confirm, if we sum up the investor equity and general partner equity, we get $40,805,000. If we are to go to the construction budget and confirm that, we can see that is indeed what the total equity is. There is no NOI offset here. We'll go over a little bit of that in a second. And of course, the total sources equals the total uses. And the total uses should sum up to be the total budget that you have created. So 102 million total budget, 102 million total uses. So the total sources and uses balance. Now, sources and uses of cash for development, as I've shown here, can include the construction debt, so the amount of debt by the lender that is being used in the investment. It is important not to double count debt if one loan is used to pay off another loan. As you can see here, that we are showing the construction debt, but we don't show the permanent / senior debt that is being used to pay off the construction debt. Now, the NOI offset, this is any positive NOI generated before reaching peak capitalization that can be used to offset concurrent uses of capital. So, if in month 2 a construction cost is hitting, but you also happen to have some positive NOI being generated at that time, that positive NOI will offset that construction cost. It's basically what that means. So the amount of equity or capital that is contributed by the investors and should be found throughout the model, this can be further split into general partner / developer equity and limited partner / investor equity, which we have shown here for an example split between investor equity and general partner equity. Now, as far as uses, we have some examples shown here. So for development projects, you will want to include the land acquisition cost and the total development or construction budget cost. You will also want to include other uses such as fees and transaction costs, such as placement fees or debt placement fees. These are fees / costs that are incurred as a result of the development that are not included in the development budget. And then the construction interest reserve. This is an interest expense incurred during construction / development of the real estate asset that is included in the debt financing. Now, for sources and uses of cash for an acquisition. This will be similar. So your sources will be debt. This can be senior debt, mezzanine debt, etc. So the amount of debt funded by the lender being used in the investment. And again, it's important not to double count debt if one loan is used to pay off another loan. So for an acquisition, this might be a permanent loan being used to pay off a HUD loan. So NOI offset, as mentioned before, this is any positive NOI generated before reaching peak capitalization that can be used to offset concurrent uses of capital. And equity is again determined by subtracting debt, NOI, from the total sources of capital, and then this is the amount of equity or capital that is contributed by the investors and should be found throughout the model. For acquisitions, on the uses side, you'll have acquisition cost, and you'll additionally have renovation costs in some scenarios. Other uses might include fees/transaction costs, so fees and costs incurred as a result of the acquisition that are not included in the total budget. An example of this again is the debt placement fees. So in conclusion, why is the sources and uses table important? The sources and uses table provides a high-level overview of the transaction, showing where all the sources of capital for a transaction come from and what they are being used to fund. Lenders and prospective investors like to see a sources and uses table to get an overview of your financial plans and a summary of the capital stack you plan on using. Thanks for listening. Please check out our website at tsmfinancialmodels.com. Every week we're posting a new blog post, and you can also use our custom model builder and purchase a model that fits your needs. Thanks and have a good day.